Years ago, I used to teach in a summer camp and also used to teach in daycares. We were trained in first aid, CPR. We had to go through all those courses.
I have been a teacher for 26 years in the Akron Public Schools. The training provided to us by the Akron Public Schools where we practice CPR. We're taught to do the stomach thrust technique.
I am a third grade teacher at KCLC in Akron Public Schools. I've been teaching for 10 years now. KCLC is a community learning center, so we invite all community members to come out and participate in events at our school.
I just got my master's in May last year. I got the call about 2 weeks before school started, and they said, hey, can you do it? We have an opening. We need a principal. I am responsible for students when they arrive at school. I stand outside and I greet the students in the morning. I'm responsible for lunch duty in the afternoons, and I usually do 3 lunch periods with about 100 students in the cafeteria.
It was a Friday in December. It was a typical learning day. We were transitioning from our centers into writing time.
I had been there 2 weeks with my principal, and then the students arrived, and I was with students one day.
I had a group of students who were sitting kind of in the library corner of my room. They were continuing to test while I was getting everyone else ready to continue with learning.
I was in the lunchroom, and I was on one side of the cafeteria, and my principal was on the other side.
As I was walking around, I was going towards the library area of my room where those students were for testing. I kind of heard something that caught my attention, so I turned my head to see what was kind of going on.
I heard a coughing. It didn't sound normal. I turned around and I see the student coughing, and I was like, are you okay? Are you okay?
I saw my student who was testing. She started to get up, and I noticed that she had her hands around her neck. You could tell she was choking.
He kept coughing, and he didn't really respond to me or look at me, and he was kind of bent over the table. So I walked over to him and I said, okay. I walked around to the back of the table and I'm like, stand up, stand up.
I just screamed to my kids. I'm like, go get help, go get someone, like go get the nurse, go get any teacher, anyone that you find.
I had him stand up. I raised his hands and I patted him on the back a little bit. He put his hands around his, like close to his neck, and there was no sound coming out.
So as I noticed she was choking, I went ahead and I just took action. I just grabbed her, started giving her abdominal thrusts.
I looked at my principal who was at the door, and she said, I'm going to get the nurse, I'm going to get the nurse. I could tell he had stopped breathing. I went around behind him and did 2 stomach thrusts. He was still holding his hands there, not breathing.
I gave her about 3 abdominal thrusts, and whoop, there went the candy that she was choking on.
I was a little nervous about how hard to do it. Like, I'd never done it before, so I was like, I didn't want to hurt him. I did it again 2 more times, but I did a little harder that time. At that point, the corn dog ejected, and he started breathing again.
It took a moment kind of for myself to kind of get together, because as an educator, that's not really something that is typical of my day.
Then we called EMTs, and they came. And I asked the EMTs, I said, did I do it right? And they're like, he's alive, you did it right.
I was like, thank you, goodness.
I just thought, this is what I have to do to save this kid's life.
After the event, I had talked to the students' parents, explained to them what had happened. They were very emotional when I told them, and they couldn't believe it.
The mother came in that day, hugged me, and she brought me cupcakes.
They had sent me well-written notes, very thankful, very appreciative of what I had done for her. After the situation happened, I had many staff members come up to me, just thank me for like my courageous act. They had mentioned that they wouldn't know what to do.
I have a son who is subbing in the Akron Public Schools, and as soon as this happened, I told him, I said, let me show you how to do this, because this could happen anytime you're in the building. After this incident happened, our school did bring in some trainers to go over the CPR techniques.
I think it'd be beneficial for students as well to have the training, because what if there's an adult not close enough, being able to receive the training and then hopefully save someone's life.